Do you have an opportunity to speak about your products or services, whether that be in person or online, and you get this like icky feeling in your gut, and you're like, I don't know how to communicate what I sell without getting this icky feeling? Then today's live is for you. Hey, I'm Salen. I am your fun business coach, and I mentor women entrepreneurs from burned out to balanced in just 90 days with my unique blueprint called the Legacy Business System. This is the exact system that I used in my franchise business to shift from 80 plus hour weeks to just 16 while tripling my business revenue and 4xing my personal paycheck. And I can tell you that sales was never something that was in my personal wheelhouse. But that's why we're talking about it today, because I have a story for you and an analogy that is going to help break down how to make sales easier for you. So let's talk about the first story. So when I started my franchise business, I went out to training. It was a franchise. So I went out to their home office, spent 7 days with them, trained. And one of the things that they said was you needed to make 40 visits a week to referral sources in the community, assisted livings, nursing homes, hospitals, healthcare related things. And I was like, okay. So I went back home, I opened the office, and I was doing all the things, which you probably are too, right? Billing, payroll. Back then we didn't really have social media, hiring, training, setting up systems, getting clients onboarded, meeting with new clients, even doing caregiving, right? And so getting out into the community to actually do the sales was not high on my list because one, I didn't enjoy it, but two, I thought that the more important things was to service the clients that were coming in, get my staff recruited, hired, trained, and all of those things. Well, fast forward 60 to 90 days, the franchisor sent the business coach out, and she said, okay, she was like reviewing some like metrics and things with me. And she's like, and how many visits have you been doing in the community? And I was like, well, like 20. And she was like, I will never forget this moment because I remember sitting there and she looked me in the eye and she said, do you want to be broke? And I was like, no, I had just invested all this money in starting this business. Of course I didn't want to be broke, right? I was like, why is she even asking me this? And she said, then do 40 visits a week. And I was like, and she literally grabbed my hand and was like, we're putting all this on hold. And right now we're going out into the community. And we spent the next 2 days in the community. And she showed me what to do to be successful. I put my head down for the next 2 years doing those 40 visits a week. And I built $1 million business. See, they had a system. The franchisor knew that for a franchisee, in order to hit a 6-figure salary, which is what we all wanted, that they needed $1 million business. And in order to get that, we needed to do 40 visits a week. They had a system. Your job as a franchisee was to execute the system if you wanted to be successful. And so the system worked, right? They had the data, they had the metrics, they had the experience, they had been in business over 10 years. They knew this is what needed. And so recently I was having many conversations with women entrepreneurs, and a lot of them have been saying, I'm so nervous to speak in front of people, or I get so like icky feeling when I'm getting up at a networking meeting to tell people what I do. I'm an empath, and so I want to help people, but I just get this like yucky feeling when I have to talk about my products or my services and how much I charge and all of those different kinds of things. And it really got me thinking, why do women struggle with this more than men? And it brought me back to the analogy of the old boys club. Let me know in the comments if you know what the old boys club is. If you know, then I want to hear about it in the comments, right? So be like, yes, I know what the old boys club is. So the old boys like club or network is how men kind of made deals, because back in the day, like way, way back, men were the breadwinners. Women stayed home to take care of the family, to take care of the kids, like all of those different kinds of things. And so they went to the office to make money, whatever it was, and provide for their families. And they had this network, right? It was men. They had a network. And a lot of the old boys network is still around today. And the reason for that is because it works, plain and simple. Let me give you an example. So when a man, and this is stereotyping, generalizing, but I'm giving you an example. So feel free to get hot under the collar, but don't beat me up in the comments. When a man wants to work with another man's company or talk to them about something or that, the very common thing that they would do for a very long time is, hey, Joe, why don't you join me and a couple of my buddies for a round of golf at the club, right? And so Joe would automatically know, okay, this guy is inviting me to go play golf at his club. That automatically triggered a signal, a thought, a system in his brain that he wanted something. He was either going to ask him for something, he was going to propose something, he was going to offer him an opportunity, a business deal, whatever the heck it was. But Joe automatically knows that when he's invited to golf on the golf course, that most likely some sort of business on some sort of level is going to be talked about during those 18 holes, right? Here's what is so magical about this. Joe can then, because he knows this is going to happen, he knows this is the system, right? Joe can then prepare himself in his head to kind of say, well, what would this guy want from me, right? Like, how would our businesses serve each other? How do I feel about him? Let me do a little bit of research on his company. Let me do a little bit of research on him. So in the background, Joe is preparing himself for this golf meeting, which is really a business meeting. And what this allows him to do is become prepared, right? He knows in the system, he's just been asked to a business meeting of some sort. And he knows when he's out there playing golf that he needs to be on his game because some sort of transaction is going to happen. Now, here's the problem. In my opinion, and from what I know, I've been an entrepreneur 17 plus years, almost 18, that there is no golf course that women use, right? I have had many different places, opportunities with women to do business. It could be on Zoom. It could be at a coffee shop. It could be in a business meeting, in a boardroom, really anywhere, right? But women don't have a system. And that's where I think women struggle. See, men have systems. I want to do business. I invite Joe to golf. Golf equals we're going to talk business. And then if that could be as simple as just, hey, let's just set up a time to formally meet in a boardroom later, right? But it's an open conversation, and women don't have that. And what I was working with these women about is when you have a system, you remove the emotions of the icky part out of the process, because systems are just made up of activities, right? Systems are step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, however many steps they are. And when you have activities that make up a system, all you're doing is you're executing on them. You're not thinking about, how do I feel about this? You're just saying, if I want Z, then I need to take the steps A through Z in order to achieve that. And it takes the emotions of, how do I feel about this? I'm embarrassed. I don't know what to do. I'm lacking confidence. What is she thinking about me? All these different things out of the process. Systems are what build businesses. If you are struggling to grow your business, I can guarantee you, you do not have the systems in place that you need. This is how you remove the icky feeling of sales in your business. You implement a system. When someone says to you, Salen, I would like to talk, right? I say, great, let's set up a time. That doesn't feel icky, right? They want to talk, let's set up a time. Okay, we meet for that time. And I say to the person, here, whatever my system is, tell me what's going on, right? And I execute the system. We get through the entire sales process without me feeling icky. And I am not a hardcore salesperson, because all I'm doing is just bringing a future client through a process, right? Through the steps. That's all I'm doing. I'm just executing steps. So if you have been working 50 plus hours in your business, your revenue is stuck, plateaued, declining, and you're feeling completely burnt out and frustrated because you can't figure out what's wrong, guaranteed you're lacking systems. And I am the girl who can help you implement those systems. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to start with, what the heck do you want for your life? Then what we're going to do is we're going to build you the business with systems in order to make that happen. That's it. We're going to get clarity. So it's no longer, should I do this? Should I do that? I don't know. We're going to get the systems in place so you know what to do daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. So you have a clear vision of what moves the needle in your business. Then when you move from the grow level to the scale level in business, you are going to implement a support team. We're going to recruit, hire, and train you. Employees, part-time, full-time, agencies, contractors, 1099s, VAs, whatever it is. So when you're in that scale phase, you can actually start working less and making more money. Your business will run 24/7 without you. And we bring it all together with tech, tools, and automations. Because here's the thing. I want you to work the least amount of hours in your business so you can live your one life, spend time with your family, be present, take epic girls trips, do all the fun things that you want to do. Go get a massage on a Tuesday at 2:00. Whatever it is, I want you to be able to do those amazing things in your business. But in order for that to happen, you need to have systems. And I have the system that gives you the 4 foundational business pillars to set you free. So if you found this valuable and you're like, yes, I need more training like this. Number 1, subscribe to the Sunday Shift newsletter. Every single Sunday, I am delivering training, stories, and action items to your inbox that you can literally implement that week with minimal effort. That's going to give you so much insight. I give you all the mistakes and all the lessons that I learned in business, and I teach you how to do them right the first time. So get on my newsletter. If you are not already on my newsletter, comment, email. If you're like, I need all of this and more, I need that one-to-one help, then comment Legacy. Let's have a conversation, and we can talk about how to implement my legacy business system into your business so we can get you out of the daily operations and back into living your life within just 90 days. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let's take the icky out of sales and let's start making money working less hours. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you next week.